Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Blaze, the Women of Femme. Specifically, we are talking Mother's Day today. So, with Mother's Day just around the corner, I've been thinking a lot about what it really means to be a mom. We often think our job is to teach our children, to guide them, protect them, and help shape who they become. But if we're being honest, some of life's greatest lessons actually come from them, right?
So true.
So this past weekend, my daughter and I were gardening together. I don't know why we, pulled the trigger and did it a little too early because everything kind of frosted over. But nonetheless, we were digging holes for the seeds and the flowers and the plants and all the things. And to me, I thought I was teaching her how to properly dig the holes and spread the dirt. And at one point, I corrected her, and she literally looked me dead in the eye and said, "Well, if I'm doing it so wrong, then why don't you just do it yourself?" She's 6, but she had a point. She was right. She was
Right.
right.
Yeah, those are those days when I'm like, first of all, I'm glad I don't have a girl. But yeah, they do definitely can like put you in your place pretty quickly.
For sure. I mean, and I think too, I know you have like two boys who are, a little bit older, getting older, obviously, every year. But, for me, motherhood is definitely a constant learning experience. And no matter how prepared you think you are, your children will always find new ways to teach you exactly like what had just happened to me last weekend.
Yes, it is so true. Yeah, no, I feel like I am definitely hitting this like new phase of motherhood. And it's so hard because I'm extremely lucky. My boys still talk to me about a lot of things. So I'm like, score, I am doing something right.
You
Um,
might be a cool mom, Courtney.
Right? Well, but then it's funny because sometimes they tell me too many things and I'm like, "Oh, earmuffs. I don't want to hear this." But it's like also so great that they're talking to me. So there's this like fine balance and I don't know. Some days, I mean, like always as moms, some days we're like, "Are we doing this right? Like what is happening?" But yeah, such a funny every time you think you're like, "Okay, I've got this stage sort of figured out." Then you're already in a new one and you're like, oh my gosh, what happened? Like what
Yeah,
is going on now? And you're constantly learning
for
all
sure.
the time.
And
I
they
know.
influence each other too, right? Like we only have one, so it's just her. But for you, you've got the two boys. So,
I got
one
three
might be
boys.
Oh, you have three. That's right. That's right. You have three. That's right. So my mistake. That's a busy household.
Yeah, no, they're constantly getting things off of each other, constantly getting things off of their friends, constantly getting things off of us. So like it is always a learning curve. But it's so funny when you have multiple though, they're all so different. And they
Yeah.
all, I remember years ago, like learning my love language, obviously for my husband and for myself. And then I was like, wait a second, what is the love language for my kids? And I like realized each of them needed and wanted different ways to like connect with them. So my oldest, like, oh, obviously I love them all, but he is like, oh, all my boys are tall. My husband's really tall. So they're all, even the youngest one is taller than me now at 12. That was his birthday present this year. He was like, yeah. But my biggest, like, tallest boy is, 6'3", pretty sturdy gentleman, and he still loves to hug me. But I
Oh,
remember he was always giving me hugs while I was like making dinner, while I was doing something. And at first I was kind of like, oh, buddy, just give me a moment. And then I was like, what am I doing? I am going to accept this hug anytime I can get
let
it.
the meal burn a little. It'll be crispy on
Right?
the
I was like,
edges.
so what? He just came back from football practice and isn't the smelliest, nicest
Yeah.
smelling. But I was like, what am I doing? Why am I pushing this away? Number one, I realized obviously his love language was touch and he wanted that hug and he wanted that reassurance. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to take it. But yeah, number two is like, it's not going to be here forever. So I want to take it and enjoy it. But yeah, it's so funny with the three. And you think, oh, well, they're all boys though. Aren't they similar? Oh, they all play hockey. Oh, they all do this. No, no, no. They are so different, so individual. Even just like how I wake them up each in the morning is very different, which I
Yep.
still do, by the way, because
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah. No, for sure. I think what, it's so important to realize that early on that, yeah, like the mess is not always going to be here. The house is eventually going to be quiet. The fridge door, you won't hear it opening and closing 100 times, in and out of the pantry, the snacks and the crinkling of the bags and all those things. And I think the sooner I realize that, and I keep telling myself that over and over again, like, this is going to go by so fast. A new saying I've been saying a lot, someone said it to me, is the days are long, but the years are short. And it's so true. And so, when the last thing you want to hear is mom, 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 like, you're like, oh, like, nobody asked me one more question. But then at the same time, now I really try to just take a deep breath, because that always helps, and telling yourself, yeah, like, they're not always going to be asking for me. They're going to be off to college and university, and not saying mom, and maybe not even calling me.
No. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. I know. So I was teaching one of my musical theater classes the other night, and I had a group, and they're like 4 to 8. So I called them my minis. They're so cute. And the one little girl was leaving, and she's like, "Can you pick me up?" And I was like, sure can, because I was like, I've got no one at home I can pick up. I can't even pick up the dog. So I was like, sure. Like, I just like hugged her and snuggled this random child. Well, not random, but child that was not mine, because she asked for it. And I was like, yes, I can.
Oh, I love that. And like you said too, all kids are going to be different, and finding what works for them, what works for you. Like, maybe that little girl, like, also really enjoys that, like, physical touch and that
Right?
comfort, right? Like, they're all going to be different. And as much as we try to be the perfect parent, sometimes the best parenting actually happens when we step back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
No.
our children, like, they don't need us to, control every single outcome for them. They definitely need space to try, to fail, and figure things out. And even if it gets a little messy, like right now, I will say my daughter is going through, again, she's only 6, she's in senior kindergarten, but she's going through situations where, like, friends are having birthday parties and only inviting certain people, and all the drama, like, oh, well, like, she's realizing that there are some, very manipulative children in her class. And we're, as much as we want to say, like, don't play with so and so, or maybe you should make a new friend today, it's, what? We can't always do that. We can't always solve all their problems. And there's always going to be people that maybe they don't jive with, we don't jive with, and they got to figure that out. They got to figure out how to best handle that on their own.
My youngest had a big decision this week in terms of hockey and which team he wanted to play on. And he was trying out for these teams, and he wanted to play with these friends. He wanted to play with those friends. And he was up one night, like all night long. And he came in my room in the middle of the night, which he hasn't done in years. And I was like, what is going on? He's like, can I just sleep on your floor? And you could tell, because he was just struggling with the decision. But we said, like, it's your decision. Like, we don't want to do this for you. You get to decide. So it was a big, it was a big moment for him to kind of learn and be like, all right, now I have to weigh. And we said, here, you can like write a list, weigh the pros and cons, hear it, right? So it was just funny seeing him kind of learn that in time. And then also kind of being like, yeah, you don't want to influence him too much, but you want to give them the tools of like, well, this is how I kind of make a decision. This is how dad makes a decision. Here's how you could do these things, and kind of give them that space to then be like, okay, go.
Yeah, well, for sure. And like, even that moment when I was gardening with my daughter that I mentioned earlier, like, in that moment, I literally stopped in my tracks, and I was like, she's right. And I need to be more mindful, not just what I'm teaching, but also how I'm teaching it, because children hear everything and they might interpret it a little bit differently based on, their cognitive abilities at that time or that stage in their lives, like, especially the things we don't even realize we're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. And Angie, talking about Mother's Day, what
Yes.
would your ideal Mother's Day be?
Okay, it's so funny because I keep seeing all these, like, videos and memes and all these things. And even my daughter was watching Peppa Pig the other day, and the mom was sent off on a day, like, forget
Oh,
about the kids. I got it. It's
you
fine. But
mean
what
Mummy Pig?
was Mummy Pig. And what was the first thing she did? She wanted to call the kids and see what they were doing. So as much as I say, like, I love some, like, time to myself, time alone, I mean, I am a mother because of my daughter, and I, enjoy spending obviously every moment that I have with her, especially when I've reframed my mindset now. When she's like, oh, mommy, come play with me. It's like, oh, I gotta make dinner. I gotta do that. You know what? Honestly, the dinner can wait. Let's just have a snack and let's play a game. Why not? Right? So I
That's
don't
so
know. What do I actually want gift wise? I'm always more practical. I don't need more jewelry. I don't really need anything. I hope it's a nice day. We can just like be outside. But usually I just tell my husband, like, we'll go to the garden center and we'll buy like all our plants, all our like herbs or veggies, flowers for the front. Like I said, I like to be a little bit more practical like that.
yeah.
How about you?
I actually would like to not make a decision.
Yeah.
I feel like I make a lot of decisions and I don't love making decisions. And it's a story I tell myself. I got to get over it. But the reality, even like today, they're like, Mom, what do you want to do for Mother's Day? And I was like, you decide. Like, I would love you on that day. And I don't care what it is. Decide to do,
Yeah.
I want you to decide dinner. I want you to decide and
Yeah.
like take care of it. So I'm not the one being like, okay, now what are we going to do? But yes, obviously I'd love to spend time with them. My boys are just really getting into golfing.
Oh,
So
okay.
I started with them last year as well. And I'm like, I love it because I
Oh,
just get to
good.
spend time with them and we walk outside and we enjoy. I mean, I don't even keep score. I could care less. I win when I don't lose my balls. Like that's where I'm like, yay, good for me. But yeah, spending time with them outside, having fun. So like, but yeah, I just don't want to make decisions. I want someone to be like, Mom, this is what we're
Yeah.
doing. This is what we're eating. Here's, your warm coffee. And I'd be so happy.
So we're doing something different this year. We're actually doing a Mother's Day brunch at
Okay.
a
Yeah.
yeah, at a local restaurant here. They do a Mother's Day. They have a few
Nice.
different seatings. So we picked the 3 o'clock because I'm like, you know what? That's good. It's like a late lunch, early dinner kind of thing. And you can enjoy for a few hours. But it's great because you're right. Like I didn't have to make the decision. It was planned for me. I don't have to worry about lunch or dinner on Sunday, which is fantastic. And we invited my mom and my sister and we have everyone coming, which is great because now we can all, my in-laws, like we can all just be together. Nobody has to host, nobody has to cook, nobody has to clean, nobody has to do any of those things. So I'm excited. And if this works, I mean, I think this, might be a new tradition for us.
I love that. That's so cute. Yeah, we've definitely done this in the past. I feel like when the boys were smaller. But yeah, sometimes I find like it's almost too busy when we're at some of those Mother Days events because everybody is bringing out their moms. But yeah, when done well, agreed. It's a nice
Yeah.
little way to just enjoy your time, enjoy your family, right? Like that's
Yeah.
that's the
And you
important.
know what? For those moms going on a spa day or just wanting to be alone too, kudos to you, ladies. Do your thing. You do you because, at the same time, we all do just need a minute. Like you said, Courtney, all those thoughts and those decisions. And if we were to write them down, it's funny because my therapist will always say things. She's like, it's not just the tasks at hand, it's all the other things that go around it. Like for instance, laundry. Like laundry is not just doing laundry. It's like, okay, timing, like when am I going to do it? I got to sort all the clothes. My daughter's birthday party just passed. So, making sure all the tags are cut off of the new items. I've thrown those in the washing machine before and found all the paper shredded in the dryer at the bottom or at the bottom of the washing machine or the plastic tags, like those labels and stuff. So, but yeah, I think, we kind of wanted to come on here and just whatever you decide to do for your Mother's Day, that's okay. And just enjoy it, whatever makes you feel the most comfortable.
I wanted to like just acknowledge one of my good friends, her mom's actually just passed away. So I want to like reach out to her and just make sure she's okay, right? Because we forget sometimes that like I am so grateful to still obviously have my mom in my life and to have that I've really been having her on my mind lately of like, oh my goodness, how is that going to feel on your first Mother's Day without her? So I'm just throwing that out there in case you do have any friends or family out there that are missing someone important in their lives. Give them a little extra hug or even a text message or even a something to kind of let them know you're thinking about them.
For sure, for sure. And all the people that maybe could not be moms,
Yeah, for
we had a
sure.
struggle. It was hard for us to have even just our one baby girl, but we did. She's happy, she's healthy, and we're lucky. But some people unfortunately have tried and maybe they can't go the adoption route. It's expensive or it's just out of reach. So, we're thinking of all of you today. You know what? Mother's Day is just, I think in general, about the ladies. It should really just be a ladies' day. And however you celebrate, we wish you well. Let's hope Mother Nature, speaking of mothers, let's hope Mother Nature is at least on our side, lady. Like,
really hope. Yes. Yes.
I really hope. I really, really hope. Well, again, happy Mother's Day to everyone celebrating. Let's just keep in mind, based on my story that I just shared too, motherhood isn't just about the lessons that we teach. It's also about the lessons that we're willing to learn. Our children are always watching and listening, but they're also always teaching us. So, take a minute to understand kind of maybe what it is they're trying to say, because they don't always have the words or the thought process.
Yes. So true.
And as always, stay hydrated, stay healthy, be well, and be kind. Happy Mother's Day to you, Courtney. Always a
Thank
pleasure.
you. Happy
And
Mother
then
Day to everyone.
thank you. And to all of our viewers, happy Mother's Day, whether you're celebrating or maybe you're not. Maybe you're literally doing nothing, and that is awesome. Enjoy it. Bye, everybody.
Bye.